Hey, welcome everybody. Craig Lurch, eXp Realty Luxury, coming to you live on this wonderful Wednesday. I love starting the days with like Marvelous Monday, Magical Monday, Tremendous Tuesday, wonderful. It all goes down to the positive attitude. And that's what we're going into the 250th birthday with. That's how I live my life every day. It's got to be positive. It's got to be positive. If not, just sometimes put those people that are negative over there. Turn the news off. Stop watching the news before you go to bed. It'll only agitate you all night long. So, hey, enough about not being positive, because if you're listening to this, you are definitely listening to some positivity about the real estate market, especially here in the Philadelphia and the suburban market. Again, unscripted real estate talk with Craig Lurch, eXp Realty, WWDB AM Talk Radio 860. All right, you can always follow me out on Instagram, Craig Lurch Selling 215. Follow me, share me with your friends, make some comments. I had a challenging one I put out on my story this morning, so you want to follow it. You want to hear what I had to say, because at the end of the show, I'm going to remind you of it if I remember. Sometimes I get in those cul-de-sacs and I forget the things I want to bring in the beginning, but it's all about having fun with that too. Also, follow us out on Unscripted Real Estate. Definitely follow us out on YouTube. We've been out taping for our new episode of Selling 215, made in Philly. We were out at Tricini's out in Ambler. We were out in Bridget's in Ambler. We were out at a fantastic house on at 340 Anderson Road out in the Upper Merion area. You should check that out. We were also at the Elmwood Zoo. Love the Elmwood Zoo. So you can always give me a call, 267-214-7728. All right, the topic today, I'm going solo. We're going to have a little bit of fun, but it is about really, right now, it's about the 250th birthday coming into the city of Philadelphia. We're going to be talking about it. It's 24 days to go. A lot of people are saying, how is this really affecting the real estate market? Well, we're going to touch into that. How is it affecting the city? What is it going to do? How does this make us a better city? Is it worth all the hype? Well, I've got some opinions. You may not like them, but I'm going to give them to you. But we're going to, first of all, we always talk about, first of all, I know we always talk about cheesesteaks, but today we're going to talk about different things. Today is, here we go, National Iced Tea Day. I got my producer. You like iced tea? Sweetened or unsweetened? Oh, you're 25 years old. All right, stay unsweetened. All right, stay unsweetened. But you're sweet enough in there, helping me with my stuff in there. All right, the other one is, let's talk about this. National Egg Roll Day. Now, is egg rolls just Chinese egg rolls or spring rolls? No, I think it's all egg rolls. So I'm going to throw this in there right now. You got cheesesteak egg rolls. You love a cheesesteak egg roll? There you go. Where's your favorite one? There you go. All right, that's one I like. I just like them anywhere. I know Mrs. Lurch likes them. Who has a really crazy one? JG, the top of the Comcast Center. They've got this Wagyu beef one, which is crazy. I know there's some other spots, but that's probably the most recent one. I was out celebrating my wife's birthday the other day with her twin. Happy birthday to Linda and Lisa. I had a great day. I had a ball with you guys all day Saturday, jumping around the city, celebrating the beautiful city that we live in. And it is definitely getting cleaner. We're going to talk about that. Also, how about a Reuben one? Have you ever had the Reuben egg roll? Oh, man, you got to find that. If you see that on the menu somewhere, everybody try that. All right, I'm going to give a shout out to my sister. It is National Deborah Day. So I'm giving a shout out to my sister. Yes, you didn't know I had a sister. I've also got a brother, Christopher, both in the real estate business. We're all in that perpetual part. And also out to all the Shawns. Here's one more. We're going to kick this real fast and we're going to jump into some real estate. Favorite candy? I think we've talked about this one before. You got to go with the. I know Vicky, who works for me, her favorite's Reese's. I remember Desiree, who's also one of my sidekicks. My wife and my mother-in-law are the little peanut chews, the Goldenberg peanut chews. Coming from Philly, it's a Philly base. Come on, man, made them. I know, but they're not Philly based. That's it. Let's talk about Philly. We're going Philly there. All right, let's talk some real estate. We got 24 days till the big party in the city of Philadelphia. Philadelphia is going to be hosting the country's big birthday party. How's it affecting the city? How's it affecting the real estate market? How's it going to affect the economy? I talked to some people that are like, it's overrated. People coming to the city. The city's wasting money. It's not going to make it. Why are they so negative? I don't understand. I guess some people like being the crabs in the bucket instead, but I'm looking at it as a huge positive. Some of the things that I'm seeing, my question is, what are your plans? What are you going to be doing 4th of July? I can tell you, there are going to be some fantastic fireworks shows here in Philadelphia on the 4th of July. You have the Wawa Welcome America Festival that's down at the Art Museum. They'll have the fireworks. They'll have a live concert and things of that. You're going to have the World Cup. You're going to have the FIFA World Cup game going on that day. That's going to be huge. Let me tell you something. Take SEPTA. get into the city. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be tough Ubering. I've already talked to a lot of the Uber drivers that we've used as we go around the city. They say it's going to be very congested and a lot of traffic. So plan for it. Be calm. Shake hands. I know we come from the city of grit and passion, but also let's show some of our brotherly love here on the 50th birthday, because they're saying it's going to generate 1.5 million visitors to the city of Philadelphia. Overnight stayers, 0.5. Now, let's look at this. In the city of Philadelphia, there's 1.5 million in population. We're bringing another 1.5 million in to stay overnight in one of those nights down around that area. You have 4.6, 4.9, including the suburbs. So start adding that in. That's going to really put a challenge on the infrastructure. That's going to really up a lot of things. And that does not include the day visitors. This is the day visitors. Let's say we get another half of them that are just day visitors. You're talking 2.25 million people in a matter of a week, greater than the population in the city of Philadelphia. And they're coming in to see the soccer. They're coming in to see the Festival of the Arts. And how is that affecting what's going on in the real estate market? So let's talk about some of the most oldest streets and how those streets have changed since they were built in 1776 when the country started. You have Alfred's Alley, which is really known as the most oldest contiguously inhabited people living on the street. The longest one, supposedly, as they're saying, in the country. You wouldn't believe what the sale prices were back then. Ready, everybody? Guess? That's right. You're wrong. Okay. It was 1,000 pounds, Pennsylvania pounds. And because each state had their own currency at that point, it was 1,000 Pennsylvania pounds, 1,000 to 2,000 Pennsylvania pounds, they said, for those homes. In conjunction, what does that mean today? It means about $1,000. So a house back then on that street cost about $1,000. Okay. What are those houses worth today? That's where we're going to get into the nitty gritty of what's really happening in the city with the real estate increases going on. The next famous street is Front Street. Front Street ran along the waterway there. It's not Delaware Avenue, it's Front Street. Then you had South Street, had all the streets that then tie into it. But Front Street ran along the water there. And that was the second largest one. Mainly a lot of businesses. And that goes back into the 1600s. So the Alfred's Alley is the one where people lived. Front Street is really the oldest street. Really, it was like where the horses had gone through, where there was people selling products and stuff like that. The next one is High Street. Where High Street is? High Street. Everybody's like, where is High Street? Now, if I tell you the street, you're going to say, no way. High Street was originally one of the main thoroughfares of the city of Philadelphia. Yes, but it was going from the river to the Schuylkill. So it was going Delaware to there. Little hint, starts with an M now. It's a big one. No, Market Street. High Street used to be Market Street. So that is how that's changed through the years. But what that also did is by doing that was part of the growth of the city, taking the one river to the other along with Front Street. So there you go. You got a little bit of history of the three oldest streets in the city of Philadelphia. That's really where Market and Broad came in. That's where the City Hall is. City Hall's got the 88 million bricks, or almost 700 rooms in the building. The largest owned municipal building in the country, still functioning as a municipal building right here, right in the center of our stuff. And then through the years, it changed. Back in the 1800s, it had grown, and then it ultimately got I'm going to call it the four parks, which is the four squares. And the most wealthy one in the city of Philadelphia is Rittenhouse, where you have all the shops. The beachfront, we'll call it the beachfront of Philadelphia, Rittenhouse Square there. So there's your three biggest streets that have gone there. All right, is the city spending too much money for the squeeze of the lemon that's going to come out of this 250th birthday? How is it affecting our real estate market? What is it going to be doing to help us? Well, the city is investing a lot in the public spaces. And I had said this on my story coming in. If you haven't noticed it, pay attention. The city is cleaner than it has been in a long time. You are seeing less trash. You're seeing less debris. You're seeing less bad tires. Whenever I fly, and I'm blessed to go out of town and then come back in, and people say to me all the time, why do you go back to Philly when you love being here and here? Well, Philly's where my blood is. This is where I sell my real estate. This is where I'm passionate about. This is where the grit comes from. But one of the things that drives me crazy is when I get off the airplane and you get on the 95, or you get onto some of the side streets coming out here, and you see trash and you see graffiti. Yo, everybody, let's knock this graffiti crap off. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. I know you're expressing yourself. Go express yourself in your own house to do it. I don't believe in the public areas you should have a right to destroy things. Destroying's not good. But if you'll notice, the city of Philadelphia, because of the 50th, Sherelle Parker and her team has done a fantastic job on cleaning the city up. We're talking about less debris on the streets. We're talking about just trash along the streets. We're talking about odors on the streets. We're talking about they're power washing some of the streets. Yes, it's in the density of the center city area, but it's also been out in the suburban neighborhoods. They've pinpointed many different neighborhoods that they're trying to regentrify through this process, all right, doing this work and getting them cleaned up. And how are they doing that? They're cleaning the plaque up on the buildings that might be abandoned. They're cleaning them up. They're throwing paint on them, getting rid of the graffiti. It could be giving a new board for the person who's painting the graffiti. Come on, grow up. Stop painting your graffiti. You're not expressing anything. I'm sorry, I'm on a tangent about that today. The other thing is they're putting banners up, beautiful art banners. But I do love going through different parts of the city and seeing in those communities the murals that are being painted on the end building. And they're specific to the community and the neighborhood out there. It could be, there's one, it's about a gentleman, I think he was a pastor that was in a neighborhood. And it was from I'm going to say 1915 to 1975. He was living in this community and neighborhood, but beautiful mural of him up there, changing lives out there in the area. Those are great. If you want to do graffiti, go do them. I also know why people are doing them. It's helping stop the graffiti because the graffiti guys don't want to paint on that mural stuff, which is smart. Thank you for not doing that. But those murals mean something to the communities because those things are going out. The city's getting more of them done. You're going to see more artwork in the city that is going around, and they're funding that to take place. There's more banners being hung. The parks have definitely been cleaned up. And from what I understand, when Adam Panici on the show one time, we were from TM Ward Construction, we were talking about different things and the soda tax and this tax and blah. And one thing is they're definitely doing is they're taking that soda tax money and they are putting it back to the kids. They're supposed to be putting it, I believe, to playgrounds, community areas, for kids, and also to schools. But you're definitely seeing the playgrounds definitely clean up. I know that TN Ward's doing a lot of work for the city, putting some of those playgrounds in. So you got the parks that are getting cleaned up. You've got banners going up. You have community events that are going on in the neighborhoods that the community is throwing. You know that there's a lot of civic associations that are doing events. There's a lot of cultural events for areas. You have Chinatown, you have South Philly. I'm assuming at some point the Mummers are going to come out in strength. They're going to come out and not wait for New Year's. They're going to take this one strong and go well because it's actually the second part of the year. At that point, on the downhill side, because halfway through the year is July 2nd. July 4th, the biggest celebration is on the other side of getting ready for the new year. So everybody's getting ready to celebrate that also. What else is going on? It's reshaping the image of Philly. It's very affordable. Very affordable. Let's talk real estate. Very affordable. People can come here. There is plenty of first-time home buyers. There's plenty of investments. Ton of investments. I had Loretta Stark on here from the Bograd Experience. She was talking about, she's got investors coming in from other cities. They're willing to take a 3 to 4% return on their investment because a lot of cities like New York, Washington, and stuff like that, you can't even buy real estate. If you buy down the shore, you're going to have a negative most likely, depending on which beach and where you're going. Definitely going to have it. But these DSCR loans, you can get 30-year fixes on them. You can get them with 25% down. You don't need to qualify regarding income. You do need to own a home. You do need to own a home. You do need to own a home. I've been told that by a bunch of people. That's why I'm saying it 3 times. I said before, I'm correcting myself, that you can go out and get them. And you need to have a credit score over 620. So what it does is it looks at the property's prudential income or its present income, and it gives it a rating number. And whatever the appraisal is due to that, or the income number, is what the bank will lend off of for you. So that'll be the deterrent whether you're doing 25 or 30% down. That's where your finances are going to be determined. But so this is boosting people to say, hey, I want to buy more in the city of Philadelphia. I'll be honest, I've had a lot of people ask me about Airbnbs. I'm hearing a lot of people that have them have gotten away from them because they're getting into a challenge with a lot of the communities don't want them. They might have them, but they don't really want them. And you need to have a license. You need to have a license. We had Oleg on here, a specialist, a friend of mine. If you do have an Airbnb or you're looking to buy an Airbnb, please reach out to me. Don't just go buy it. it could be a bad investment because your return on your investment of a short-term Airbnb is higher generation of income than it would be if it's a flat. And not all condominium buildings allow rentals. I know we've had Mike Fabrizio on here. I think the Murano and some of the other ones, like it's a minimum 6 months. It used to be a year. They knocked them down to 6 months because of what we'll call the transient snowbirds come in and go out. They want a place to be here, but then they go back to Florida in the winter. So that full year was actually kicking it out in a different way. So those are definitely concerning also. So do your homework. When you're looking for those investments, work with a real estate professional that knows the market, knows investments, knows what rules you need to do. You want to build your Camelot around you, all right? Real estate's the best investment you can do. I'm going to prove to you the number works. And this is just something interesting that I found out in the past 24 hours because I was doing homework for the show so I could share it with you. I learned such a wealth of knowledge having this show once a week. So let's go back to Alfred's Alley. The price of the houses were roughly $1,000 in US dollars today. Today's value of them, they've sold between $760 and $800. The ones that are recorded. Some of them have transferred in trusts, other things like that. But the ones that I could see, the highest ones were $760 to $800,000. So let's use $800,000. So you're talking about an 800% increase, an 800% increase from what it was originally built for there. So let's think about 800%. So if you're buying a house, new construction for $600,000 or $500,000, times it by 800%, what is it going to be worth? I know, 275 years later, if it's still standing, but I'm not sure. These houses have been standing for 275 years. The rate of return of appreciation, the one that has been taught to everybody all the time in real estate is typically you're going to have a 3 to 5% increase per year in appreciation. So while you're paying your debt down in your principal, and remember, your first 10 years are mainly all interest. The bank's going to get their money before you're going to pay it off. The average person stays in their house 12 years. It used to be 7.8. It might not be a bad idea to get a 10-year fixed and then go to an adjustable. Sometimes do an interest only on the thing because it's going to appreciate, all depending on where your income is, all depending on what your situation is. You want to ultimately talk with a mortgage professional and find out what's best. But when we're talking about this number, let's do 1,000 to 800,000 divided by 270. It's 2.91%. The average is 3. So we're off by 0.9. But the number just proved itself there. Mathematics, it's roughly 3%, they say. I know we have the anomalies. We've had those 15, 18, 20s. We're still seeing some parts of the area, the suburbs, where they're still sitting 13 some percent recently. But that's doing a lot with schools. It's doing a lot with people coming back to the city. You're seeing some of the condos starting to sell again that were sitting, that were landlocked because they've had upgrades to it. We've got neighborhoods, like the 20 neighborhoods the city are focusing on. I don't know which one they are exactly, but you can see it driving through the city. You can tell which parts of the city they're cleaning up and working on really hard. Thank you, Sherelle Parker. In that they're growing anywhere between 10 and 15. There is a lot of sitting building lots. I have builders that have lots that are approved and they're trying to sell them. Those values, because of the cost of building, have actually brought those the lot prices down because the cost of the construction is greater than what it was when they were originally building, creating a profit margin. There's not that much, the profit margin has been eaten up through the supply costs and the labor costs that have gone up. So you're seeing stuff that's being built now. It was budgeted before. You are seeing some increases in prices. You are seeing the smaller builders are the ones that are getting strangled, especially because of cash flow and also delivery of product, because they're not buying 100 of something. They're not buying 100 doors. They might be buying 10 doors. They might be buying 30 doors for the inside of the house. So those things are all finding and hitting there. All right, so some of the revitalization also is they're working on some of the lower income parts of the city, trying to clean them up, trying to get the first time home buyer to be able to buy in there. If we go back to our statistics, last year in 2025, 21% of all the purchasers were first time home buyers. That's huge, but it's down. It was 26, so that's down. We got to figure out how to do more of that. This week's interest rates, refinances, the demand is up 15%, and purchase mortgages, buyers applying for mortgages, is up 7%. Hopefully they're listening to this show in the discussion that we've had, that you're getting pre-approved, you're actually getting pre-qualified. That means you're getting your full approval before you buy the house, before you even go into a house, you're going to be like a cash buyer. There are some great mortgage companies out there. I know Green Tree Mortgage. They've got some, Deanna, the mortgage mom out there. She's got some great products. It's called the Platinum Mortgage. They'll literally make you a cash buyer. Even if you're selling a home, they'll make it non-contingent upon it and give you 6 months to sell the home and go from there, while also letting you use all your cash and your equity to go from there. All right. Repeat buyers. 79% of all the buyers last year were repeat buyers. So that means they're in there. We also then have, let's see, the median down payment is 19%. So people, the myth that Mike Fabrizio and I were talking about last week, that you need to have 20% down, talk to some mortgage lending professionals. Get out there and see what's going on. All right. Now, what is the show going to, what's this ultimately all these people coming to the city going to do? Okay, 1.5 million people coming to the city is ultimately going to double the amount of people in the city. It's going to generate $950 million to $1 billion in spending money. Wow. Do the math, everybody. Simple math. City of Philadelphia gets 2%. Do the math. Come on. Huge inventory of cash coming into the city, not including the 6% that goes to the state, because in the city of Philadelphia, transfer tax is 8%. Then on top of it, don't forget all those people coming in and having sodas and all this stuff, the sugar taxes, all those taxes, the service taxes, boom, are all going to this city. This is going to be billions of dollars to help the city of Philadelphia that I hope will keep us out of being in the red. We need to stay out of the red. We need to manage that money well. This is a gift. This is once in 250 years, we've had this opportunity to have this cash influx of people coming, this influx of people showing how great our city is. People, welcome everybody, family out there. My other Philadelphians, my family, go out there. Welcome people to our city. Welcome them. Make them want to come back again, because the more they come back, the more they're going to want to live here, the more they're going to want to invest maybe in some properties, the more they're going to want to buy real estate, the more they're going to want to open another company in the city of Philadelphia possibly, then ultimately bring out more employees and employ more people. So think of the cash flow that is going to happen. Think of the effect that's going to happen on all the mom and pop shops. All these think of all the little shops down in South Philly. Think of all 9th Street. 9th Street's going to be crazy with people going in and out of shops. Down around Chinatown is going to be crazy. Reading Terminal is going to be packed. So remember, go out, get ready to change some lives. We're going to have some fun coming up to the 250th birthday. Remember, countdown's on, 24 days to go. Tune in next week when we have Mike McCann, the real estate man, a longtime friend of mine in there. Go out, change some lives. You never know whose life you're going to change, because sometimes all it takes to change a life is somebody willing to open a door. Open that door for somebody. Stand aside and let them go first. Have a great and blessed week. Go get them. Have a great week.
Tune in for exclusive interviews with local and national your day.